running out of oxygen in Commanderland. What would you do if your franchise quarterback was just an illegal tackle away from losing the season? Silence at Lambeau Field, a compromised knee, and a medical staff racing against the clock. While Dallas and Philly laugh, Adam Peters shakes the league with a machinating blow, infiltrating his defense with a titan bringing viral secrets from Baltimore. But this isn't just about surviving. It's headhunting. And in the middle of chaos, a 7th-round rookie takes the wheel. 14 carries. That's all that separates this human missile from oblivion or eternal glory. Are you ready for the most daring move of the Peters era? Hit that subscription button now. Every second counts when the playoff hangs on a broken knee, an enemy spy, and an unknown who carries the future in their legs. I can't believe we're talking about this again. Jayden Daniels, our future, our savior, our franchise quarterback, is dealing with a knee injury that has the entire Commanders organization shaking with fear. And let me tell you something. When Grant Powson of 106.7, the fan says the injury was serious enough to require magnetic resonance imaging after Thursday night's game, I say this is no joke. Now I'm going to tell you exactly what happened at Lambeau Field because the details matter. Daniels was doing exactly what we expect of him, moving in the pocket, using his athleticism to extend plays, when that damn tackle came and changed everything. And here comes what enrages me the most. Nick Jabvala of The Athletic affirmed it was a hip drop tackle, a play that should have been penalized immediately by the officials. But do you know what really gets me furious? That the NFL has been talking all season about protecting quarterbacks, about eliminating dangerous plays. But when it really matters, when our franchise player is being attacked illegally, the referees stay mute. That is exactly the kind of officiating negligence that can ruin a young player's career. And let me delve into why this injury is particularly concerning for Daniels. We're talking about a quarterback who fundamentally relies on his mobility, his ability to escape the pocket, turn broken plays into touchdowns, use his legs when protection breaks down. A knee injury is not like a broken rib that he managed last year against Carolina. This injury strikes directly at the core of what makes Daniels special. Grant Powson is not someone who exaggerates things. When he says the situation was serious enough to require an MRI immediately after the game, I tell you alarms were sounding throughout the Commanders building. Because think about it. Teams don't perform MRIs for minor injuries after a Thursday night football game. That means there was real, immediate concern about the extent of the damage. Dan Quinn is going to talk to reporters this Monday at 3:30 in the afternoon. And let me tell you that press conference is going to be absolutely crucial. Every word that comes out of his mouth is going to be scrutinized microscopically. JP Finley of NBC Sports is already reporting that Daniels could miss practice time this week before the matchup against the Raiders. And that has me extremely worried, because here's the harsh reality that no one else is going to tell you. Daniels was already working intensively to improve his chemistry with Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry is our #1 receiver, our most reliable threat in the passing game, and the connection between these two players is crucial for offensive success. Now they are going to lose valuable practice time just when they need to be building that perfect synchronization. While the Cowboys have Doc Prescott fully healthy and the Eagles have Jalen Hurts at 100%, we are praying that our rookie quarterback can be ready for Sunday. And don't get me wrong, I have faith in Daniels. But the reality is he's entering his second professional year. Still learning, still developing. The concern extends beyond just this week. The Raiders are not exactly a pushover team, especially at home. They have a pass rush that can create problems. And if Daniels is not at 100%, if he's favoring that knee even slightly, it will be immediately noticeable in his game. I believe Daniels is an absolute warrior. Last year, he demonstrated his toughness when he played with a broken rib after the injury against the Panthers. But a knee is completely different. A broken rib hurts, but it doesn't affect your fundamental mobility. A compromised knee changes the way you plant your foot, the way you cut, the way you scramble out of the pocket. And when we've already lost Dietrich Wise Jr. and Austin Eckler for the whole season, plus Noah Brown and John Bates with groin injuries, this is turning into an injury crisis that could define our entire season. Every additional injury puts more pressure on the remaining players, and now the most important player on the entire roster could be compromised. The fans are in panic, and I completely understand why. Because without Daniels at 100%, our whole offensive identity changes. Cliff Kingsbury designed this system specifically to maximize Jayden's unique skills. If he can't run, if he can't make those improvised plays that have saved us so many times, then we have to completely reinvent our offensive approach on the fly. Now I tell you this, the Commanders cannot afford to take unnecessary risks with Daniels. If that means being extra cautious during the practice week, then so be it. If that means limiting his reps, modifying the game plan, or even considering giving him more rest, then it has to be done. Because without him fully healthy, our chances of going deep in the playoffs vanish completely. The question now is whether Quinn and the medical staff are going to prioritize Daniels' long-term health or risk it for an immediate victory. And let me be clear, I believe the right decision is to protect our franchise player, even if that means a tougher game against Vegas. This is exactly why I respect Adam Peters as general manager. While other teams are panicking over injuries, our GM is playing high-level chess. John Portis of SB Nation just suggested a move that could be absolutely brilliant: snagging Brent Urban from the Ravens practice squad. And let me explain why this makes perfect sense from multiple angles. First, we lost Dietrich Wise Jr. for the entire season with that devastating quadriceps injury. And suddenly our pass rush looks thinner than paper. Wise wasn't just a rotational player. He was a key piece in our pass rush packages, especially on third down situations where his experience and veteran presence were invaluable. Jacob, Martin, and the 7th-round rookie Javon Jean-Baptiste had to split responsibilities against Green Bay after Wise got hurt, and I honestly tell you neither of them completely convinced me. Martin has the athleticism but lacks consistency. Jean-Baptiste has potential, but he's a rookie still learning the complexities of the professional game. But here comes the brilliance of Peters, and that's why I respect so much his approach. Instead of making an expensive trade and giving up valuable draft capital for a player who might come with a hefty contract and unrealistic expectations, he's looking at the practice squads of other teams. It's thinking outside the box at its finest. Brent Urban is 34 years old. Yes, and some might say he's already at the end of his career. But let me explain why that experience is exactly what we need right now. Urban has played between 23% and 29% of defensive snaps for Baltimore in the last 3 seasons. He isn't a superstar that's going to appear on ESPN's highlights, but he's exactly the kind of reliable player that makes defenses worked out at 6 feet 7 inches and over 300 pounds. Urban is exactly the kind of physical presence we need on our defensive line. He's not going to put spectacular numbers on the stat sheet, but he's going to do the dirty work that allows other players to shine. He's going to occupy blockers, stop the run, provide those 2 or 3 pressures per game that can shift the momentum of a drive. Now I ask you this: do you prefer Peters to make a desperate move by giving up a 2nd or 3rd round pick for a player who might not fit into our system, who might come with ego or unrealistic expectations? Or do you prefer he makes a smart move by taking a proven veteran who knows exactly what's expected of him? Because here's the advantage no one else is mentioning, and this is the part that has me most excited. Urban knows the Ravens perfectly, our most dangerous divisional rivals. He knows their offensive schemes, their tendencies in different situations, their technical weaknesses. It would be like having a spy in our ranks, someone who can tell us exactly how to attack Lamar Jackson and that explosive Baltimore offense. Think of it this way: while the Steelers and Bengals are dealing with their own issues and trying to figure out how to compete in this division, we would be adding someone who literally lived in the Ravens building, who knows their calls, their audibles, their protections. That inside information is worth more than any stat sheet. Peters has demonstrated all season that he prefers proven, veteran players over young prospects with undeveloped potential. Urban fits perfectly into that philosophy. He doesn't have to learn a completely new system, doesn't have to adjust to the speed of the professional game, doesn't have to prove he belongs in the NFL. He already knows how to do the job. And here's another aspect I like about this potential move. Urban has been primarily a special teams contributor besides his work on defense. In a time where special teams can decide games, having someone with that versatility and experience is incredibly valuable. He can contribute in multiple phases of the game. The financial reality also favors this move. Urban will probably come with a minimum contract, without complicated bonuses, without guaranteed money that complicates our future salary cap. It's a financially low-risk move that gives us flexibility to make other moves if the opportunity arises. I believe this would be a low-risk and high-reward move. If Urban comes and contributes as we expect, we will have solved a critical problem without sacrificing our future. If for some reason it doesn't work out, we haven't lost anything significant and can explore other options. But let me be clear about one thing. Peters can't sit still waiting for someone else to solve this problem. The depth on the defensive line was already a concern before Wise's injury, and now it's a crisis that requires immediate action. Whether it's Urban or any other option, we need to see movement in the coming days. Commanders, this is historic. A 7th-round rookie is about to become the savior of our season, and I couldn't be more excited for what we're about to witness. Jacory Merritt, the young man who gained more momentum than any Day 3 pick in the entire league during preseason, is being tossed straight into the fire after Austin Eckler's devastating Achilles injury. But before talking about what lies ahead, let me tell you the whole story of how we got here. Because this is an emotional roller coaster that shows exactly why I love this sport. Austin Eckler came to Washington as the experienced veteran who was going to stabilize our backfield. A proven player with years of NFL experience who understood exactly how to handle the responsibilities of being a primary running back. And then, in a cruel twist of fate, everything changed at Lambeau Field. Eckler went down with what clearly seemed to be a devastating Achilles injury. And the fears were confirmed when medical exams revealed the worst possible scenario. Season over, and probably his time in Washington too. Let me be completely honest with you. This was in nobody's plans. Cliff Kingsbury had a carefully designed plan to develop Merritt gradually. The idea was to protect him, teach him the system little by little, allow him to adapt to the speed of the professional game without the immense pressure of being the main guy. Especially considering he missed so much football last season due to completely out-of-control circumstances. But the NFL is a ruthless business where one player's opportunity becomes another's tragedy. And now Merritt finds himself in a situation that most 7th-round rookies never experience, being thrust into the spotlight as the primary runner of a team with serious playoff aspirations. Ian Rapoport of NFL Network confirmed that the Commanders plan to use Merritt as the featured back moving forward. Jeremy McNichols will be the veteran presence who can handle specific situations and provide stability. Chris Rodriguez Jr. will get more involvement as the physical option for short yardage and goal line situations. But the first-year rookie is going to lead the charge with just 14 professional carries on his resume. 14 carries. Let me repeat that because it's absolutely incredible. We're talking about a young man who has less professional experience than some players have in a single practice. And now he's going to be responsible for carrying the offensive load for a team that has legitimate expectations to make playoff noise. Now, I ask you, can you imagine the pressure this young man is feeling right now? Because while the Giants are dealing with their own backfield issues and the Cowboys are, relying on expensive veterans with mileage on their legs, we're betting our season's future on a rookie that most casual fans barely know. But here's why I'm absolutely convinced this could not only work, but be magical. Merritt has that X factor that simply cannot be taught at any training camp. He has the explosiveness that gives defensive coordinators nightmares. He has the natural athleticism to turn ordinary plays into big ones. And he has that instantaneous decision-making ability that separates great runners from the merely good. His stellar performance in Week 1 against the Giants was no fluke, no luck, not because the Giants weren't prepared. It was a statement of intent. It was Merritt telling the entire world he belongs at this level, that he can compete with any defense in the league. And let me delve into what I saw in that performance that has me so excited. First, his vision. Merritt sees holes other runners don't, finds spaces that shouldn't exist. Second, his acceleration. Once he finds that hole, he explodes through it with a speed that leaves linebackers scrambling. Third, his balance. When tacklers hit him, he absorbs the contact and keeps running. But what impressed me most was his patience. For a rookie, for someone with such little experience, to show that level of patience behind the line, waiting for the blocks to develop, that's incredibly mature. That's not a skill that can be easily taught. That's pure instinct. The decision to trade Brian Robinson Jr. to the 49ers for a 6th-round pick now looks like an act of absolute genius by Peters. Because he saw something in Merritt that the rest of the league overlooked. While other teams were focused on big names and hype prospects, Peters was quietly building the future with players others underestimated. Think about the confidence that demonstrates. Peters essentially traded away a proven commodity in Robinson, a runner who had shown he could be productive in the NFL. Betting this 7th-round rookie could not only replace him, but potentially surpass him. That's the definition of thinking outside the box. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and say this is going to be easy. The reality is that this is a journey into the unknown. Moving a rookie with such little professional experience to the role of primary runner is inherently risky. There are 1,000 things that could go wrong, 1,000 adjustments defenses can make once they have film of him as the primary back. But I have the feeling, call it intuition or call it faith, that Merritt is not only going to survive in this situation, but thrive. There's something in his demeanor, in the way he carries himself on the field, that tells me he's built for this moment. His meteoric rise to cult hero status is just beginning. Peters certainly will have contingency plans ready, because it would be irresponsible not to have them. They could add another experienced presence to the practice squad or active roster as insurance. They could explore the free agent market to see if there's a veteran available who can provide immediate help. But I have the sense they won't need those options because this young man is destined to be special. The beauty of this situation is that Merritt has no unrealistic expectations placed on him. No one expects him to be Adrian Peterson or Derrick Henry immediately. Everything he produces will be seen as a bonus, like gravy on top. That lack of external pressure could be exactly what he needs to play free and show all his potential. Look, Commanders fans, these 3 stories show us exactly where we are as an organization. We have our franchise quarterback dealing with an injury that has us all on edge, wondering if he'll be 100% when we need him the most. We have a GM playing chess while other teams play checkers, looking for creative and intelligent solutions to our problems instead of making desperate moves. And we have a rookie about to write his name in Washington's history in a way no one could have predicted just weeks ago. Do you really believe Daniels will be fully healthy to face the Raiders on Sunday? Do you think Peters should aggressively go for Urban or look for another trade option? And what do you realistically expect from Merritt as our primary runner in this early stage of his career? Because let me tell you something no one else will tell you with this honesty. This is exactly why we need to stick together as the Commanders family. In tough moments, when injuries pile up and doubts start to grow, that's when it's proven what we're truly made of as a fan base. And I firmly believe we have the leadership, the talent, and the determination to overcome these obstacles and keep competing at the highest level. If you want to keep receiving this deep and honest analysis that you won't find anywhere else, then I need you to subscribe right now and join this family. Because this season is just beginning, and the decisions made in the coming weeks will define whether We're destined for greatness or doomed to mediocrity. Join this family, make it part of your weekly routine, and let's navigate together through everything to come. The Commanders need us more united than ever. And remember, hail to the Redskins!